I'll make an intimidate check.
Okay. As he's racked with pain, you see the chain yanks on him hard and drags him back over the pit of fire.
The intimidate, I think it's a plus 10. Yeah, so that's a 26 on intimidate.
26. You see he's definitely not happy about it. He's very unhappy that people are probing into his mind. But he doesn't say anything in response.
Okay, that's the end of my turn.
Zook. You've got a shot on both of the guys from where you're standing. I'm giving you all the three center columns in the room, as long as you can see into the door.
Yeah, but I just kind of take for granted Tarin is relaying everything he says and does over the mind link in common at this point. Is that a fair assessment? So, having heard that he just made that awesome hit and that incredible threat, Zook's just going to hang tight. He's going to ready in action. If they somehow break free of their chains, he'll shoot them.
So if they break the chains, you're readying in action. If they break the chains, you're going to shoot which one?
Well, if they come through the door, I'll shoot the one that comes through the door. That's all I'm looking for at this point. Khalil was dumb for going in the room, so I don't care about that.
I stepped up there to take the hit.
Okay.
Because Tarin got beat the fuck up earlier.
Khalil, I have armor that deals cold damage to things that hit me.
So? I don't know this.
It's fine. I
don't pay attention to your
No,
crazy
you very
magic.
much know it. We've been using it for like a year.
I don't pay attention to
This
your
one
crazy
here.
magic.
Know it.
Having suffered the forceful blast of that star missile and then being yanked on its leash back over the pit of fire and then being verbally threatened into the core of its mind after what, let's be clear, probably constitutes a little bit of mind rape, Eldove. You kind of violated him in the brain. A little bit. Let's be honest. Yeah. This part's fun.
What is that? What the hell is that?
It's a wall
what
of
is this?
fire.
Oh.
The three of you, Eldove, Tarin, and Orphan.
I know that line.
You guys all can all make a dex save.
Oh, good.
DC is...
I'm only really glad to not be standing with you guys.
DC's only 15.
Oh, I passed. Yes, I passed it. Wow.
Oh boy.
All right, I got a 23.
23? Okay.
Yeah.
So I got,
All-
what was the DC?
15.
Yeah, I passed that.
Okay, all three of you passed?
Yeah.
Okay. That was terrible damage. Alright, so it's 5d8 damage if you didn't pass. So half that. So 7 damage if you did, then a further 3 damage if you've got fire resistance.
I don't take any of that. I have evasion.
Oh, that's right. Here's the complication, though.
You can't see it, but I'm sitting back, leaning back in my chair right now with my arms behind my head.
Right?
Hey, whatevs.
Okay. So, this entire hallway erupts with fire, and you all manage to very narrowly dodge out of the way of the licking flames. Here's the complication, because you have to walk through the fire squares, that counts as you entering the wall of fire on your turn. You'll take damage if you enter a wall of fire, attempt to pass through it, or end your turn inside of it. And it extends 10 feet, which means the square Khalil is on counts as being in the wall of fire.
Oh boy.
You didn't have to make a save because it didn't cut through your square when it came up. But if you end your turn on that square, it will burn you.
Yeah, no thank you.
Which one did that? The one on the right or the left?
This one back here, the one that you blasted,
Okay.
the one that you pissed off and Eldove jumped in his brain and threw a party.
Alright.
That's concentration. I'm going to ask over the mind link. That's a concentration spell, isn't it, Eldove?
Yeah, that's
So
concentration.
yeah, wall of fire absolutely is.
Fire! This is what it feels like for fire!
Eldove.
Feels pretty nice. I took 3 damage.
No, you're about to take more.
Well, fuck it. He's already pissed. I'm gonna see if he knows the password for the doors too.
I'm hoping it's the same password.
For the doors back here?
For all the doors, yeah.
Okay, make an intelligence check. And remember, you have a Bardic Inspiration if you want to throw it on there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you know what? He rolled a 1. Fuck it. He's not able to push you out. You feel him pushing against your presence in his mind, but he's far too weak for it. You just root around in there, you know. Oh, you know what? Did you make a concentration save for the Wall of Fire? DC 10
I
con
can.
save. Detect thoughts is concentration, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Then yeah, we better make that save.
Ooh.
All right, 2 plus the Bardic Inspiration die.
That's a D8. You only got to beat a 10.
Okay, I pass.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, you push around in his mind. You're looking for the passwords to other doors in the complex.
Yeah, I want to know if he knows any more passwords to the doors in this tower. I want to know them.
So I'll let you tab a door, and if he knows the password, you'll learn it.
Does he know a lot of passwords of doors in this complex?
In your one action, I'll let you probe for a single password. So you can look at one single door.
Hopefully it's the same password.
That's what you're using your action to probe around in his mind, looking for the information.
Everyone just uses everyone just uses the same password. We all know this.
I'll go for that one.
That one there? He does not know the password.
Does he know any passwords, though? Like, can I at least tell if he knows any other passwords?
On your next turn, I'll let you spend an action to determine whether or not he knows anything else about the complex. But you're not going to get more than one password per turn, and you're definitely not going to get them all in one turn.
Well, I don't want them all. I just don't want to ask for specific doors. I want to, like, if he knows a random password, I'd rather learn that than ask for every single door.
Well, if you're looking for a random password, the one you hear is Passage and Ignan, because that's the one that's most on his mind at the time. That's what I'm saying. You have to spend an action looking for something specific. You can't just say, I look for anything useful.
Alright.
Now you're going to take damage. I like rolling lots of dice.
Well, wait, am I?
Yes, because
Why?
you're starting you're have to move into the Wall of Fire to get out of it. Every square that you can move to is inside the Wall of Fire. If you end your turn, you will take additional damage on top of this.
Can't you only take that once a turn? I thought that was the...
No, you take a turn if you try to move through the wall, which he needs to, or you'll take damage if you end your turn inside of it or in front of it.
What way is it facing?
It's facing towards the door. It's cutting through all these spaces that you guys are standing on. It's facing towards the door, so Khalil's in front of it. So you would have to move out into room 5 or back into this hallway back here. Either which you can get to with your movement. But you have to move through the Wall of Fire to get to it.
But he probably doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, you can do that too. You'd be out of the range of the fire there. It's 16 damage walking through the flames, getting to that location. Oops, I didn't mean to pick you up, Zook. I'm sorry. You just went for a ride.
Yeah.
So do I have to... Okay.
Yeah, you have to roll concentration again if you want to maintain Detect Thoughts. And it's 10 or half the damage, so 10 con save.
And Destil, don't argue about this, because if this is the rules for Wall of Fire, I want to use them.
Okay.
These are the rules
right.
the rules I've been using, though. Every time you put up a Wall of Fire, it's been
No, I
consistent.
skimmed him. I think it's actually right.
It's correct.
All right.
This is my favorite spell on my Warlock. You pass that?
Yeah, easily.
Cool. Khalil. If you end your turn, then you're going to take damage.
Switch to bow.
Okay.
Arrow. That guy.
Roll to hit.
That is probably not going to hit.
Probably not.
9.
No.
Alright, extra attack. 1.
That's right, you get 3 attacks, don't you?
I do. 12.
Nope.
Extra attack 2.
That'll hit.
There we go.
Roll damage on
Plus
that.
2. 7.
7 damage.
Yep. That's 3 arrows marked off.
Okay, you quickly knock your bow loose a volley of arrows in the back of the room, and one of them connects into its smoky cloak and finds flesh there, and it grimaces in pain. Wall of Fire does not drop.
Okay. I
now,
tried.
see, Khalil didn't have to take Wall of Fire damage there because he didn't move into or through a square that the Wall of Fire occupies. And now it's Orphan's turn.
So Orphan does have to move through a square in order to leave, right?
Yes, she does. You have the same difficulty that Eldove just had.
What do I want to do here? I don't super want to be in melee range with these guys, but
Aren't you immune to fire?
I don't see much alternative.
She's resistant.
No, not immune.
Oh.
These guys are clearly immune.
First thing you do is take 14 fire damage. That's after I halved it for resistance.
Oh, really? Dang.
Yes, which means you can Hellish Rebuke him if you want.
Oh, that's well.
If you want to waste your reaction to do
that
fire
would be
damage to
super
these guys.
pointless. Right.
It would
Oh,
be pretty pointless.
Oh yeah, fire damage. Yeah.
Does Hellish Rebuke push?
No, it's just,
No, it does not.
it's not. It's actually
No,
not
but-
even that much damage.
I think that water attack sounds pretty good right now. Want to knock him back into the.
Crashing waves is not a. It's not a water attack. I mean, it is a water attack, but it's a bludgeoning damage.
Well, I mean, but you push him back and do the same thing to the first guy that you did to the second guy.
Yeah, when Tarin shoved him out of the fire, the chain reacted and he took damage
It-
from that.
It blasted him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can try that.
That's why I'm saying you should do that.
Should I? Let's see. Would it be better for me to do it to the first guy or the second?
This is the one that's cast the Wall of Fire. This is the one who's maintaining concentration on it.
Oh, right.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
What's that
All right.
shit?
Yeah, I'll give crashing waves a try.
Okay. Now, are
So
you standing
that's,
on this square here, with the flames licking up around you?
Oh, on this, I was trying to get to the 7, but
Okay.
Top Simulator is not. Being
That's probably the
super
smart.
responsive to
That's
me.
probably the smart play. So we're doing the water attacking as him. Is that a roll to hit or is that a save on his part?
The only problem. The only problem with that is it's a strength save.
These guys are kind of strong.
It is a
so-
strength save. Okay.
So let's see. Would it be better?
Full demon.
Yeah. Would it be better to do that?
They do look particularly
Let me check
muscular.
something about that. Let me check something real quick. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't mean to waste everyone's time here, but just gotta look something up.
No, that's fine.
Okay, yeah. So, if
Your mic's cutting out there. I don't know what you just said.
I didn't say anything important.
Okay.
I do have half as much damage, but there's no push.
If
If
he makes the save?
if they-
Are we going for it?
let me check my martial arts stuff, see if I have any pushes with just my basic stuff. Flare Blow is patient defense. Definitely, I don't know if that does anything.
Couldn't run over that fire.
You know what? I might. I think from what Brickard said, you can run over it. All right.
Yeah, you can pass
Someone
through these
stand
squares
there.
without taking damage. It's like you're darting over like a bed of hot coals. If you stand there, you're going to be in trouble. Orphan will be in less trouble than the rest of you, but it's still considerable damage. The damage there is the same as standing in the Wall of Fire.
Yeah. Orphan's gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for the Fist of the Crashing Waves.
Okay.
Just on the off chance that he rolls a terrible save.
And you're hitting him right here?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. What's the DC?
It's 15.
15. He cleared it. So the water crashes into him, and you see he doesn't enjoy being blasted with a jet of water. But he stands fast, and he does not get pushed. Was it half damage if he saved?
Yeah. Let me see if I can make him fail a concentration save at least.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll the damage.
But these are D20s. I want D10s.
I'd roll the d20s personally. It's bigger numbers.
Okay, that's a 6. 16. Just 6.
Just 6?
16 damage.
Yeah, 16 damage.
16. So he takes 8.
Why would it take 8?
Because he passed his strength
Just
save.
Right.
Right. Takes 8.
Yeah, he does not look happy that you just crashed him with his, Oh, shit. Oh, no, he passes that. Okay. Yes.
I was gonna be so happy for a second.
He doesn't look happy that you threw this... Like, well, how does this manifest? Like a giant fist made of water crashes into him, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much what happened.
He doesn't look happy to be...
Just like shift with a punch, and this wave comes off of it.
Okay. And you see the water crash into him, and his skin immediately evaporates, and it gives off his steam and splatters against the metal grating in front of him. And you hear the loud hiss of it, and he did not seem to reel much from the impact. The wall of fire behind you continues to rage.
Okay. Alright, that's it for my turn. Now I'm gonna get worked by this guy.
Yep, now this guy's going to step forward. You have an armor class, I think. That's 2 hits.
It's
Only 17.
I'm going to calculate... I got to roll 4 times when I calculate each hit separately. That's a lot of ones.
Did he crit twice?
He didn't crit at all.
Oh, okay.
God bless it. Okay. You take 9 slashing damage. So this thing comes down on you with its scimitar with 2 very quick slashes. And where the blade impacts you, you feel the heat emanating off of it for an additional 10 fire damage, which you reduce to 5.
Okay. Phew. I didn't die.
So that was 14 damage total. You can Hellish Rebuke him if you want. I wouldn't if I was you, but you can do it.
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay. Fred! Fred's he's continue jamming on his lute. He's gonna give Eldove his next Bardic Inspiration die. That's a D8. And it is Tarin's turn.
So I'm going to Misty Step to here to not deal with any of this wall of fire bullshit.
It's a good idea.
And then Tarin is going to pull an ominous-looking black tuning fork off of his belt, strike it against his shield while speaking incantation, and touch this giant. He gets a DC 19 Charisma save.
To do what? What's the effect if he fails?
He gets sent to the ethereal plane.
He just barely failed, and he's trained in charisma, so you better be lucky. So he gets blasted in the ethereal.
Yeah, spite shift.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Welcome to the ethereal plane.
Wow,
See,
that
these-
especially sucks in this world.
These guys could do that innately, but I took the ability away from them just for this reason. So, does it deal any damage?
No, it's just he's just in the ethereal plane. He can come back if he has any mechanisms to do so, but...
Okay. You blast him, and his form vanishes, and you see the shackle
Let
that
me
was around
actually,
his neck.
give me 1 second. I might be able to say where in the ethereal plane. Give me a second to look it up.
Okay.
He'll be in the center of the ocean, in the southern part, if it is.
What spell is this?
Is that a Mystic Arcanum, or is that a spell slot?
That's my Arcanum, yeah.
Okay.
That's a plane shift.
He just barely missed that save. Okay. So you send him to the ethereal plane down in the ocean somewhere?
Yes.
That's not going to be happy.
And I'll say to this one, again, we said the password, let us pass, or I'll send you someplace even worse.
You see the
Do you know anywhere
shackle
worse?
is floating in midair, and it hits the ground, and when it strikes the ground, you see that brilliant blue flash again, and the whole chain jerks the shackle back, and you see the chain is drawn like in and around the pillar. What looks like the chain is being taut, it looks like it can give itself as much slack as it needs. But you see that flash, and the chain is jerked all the way back to the pillar, and then you see the chain. Why am I echoing?
whoa.
Why am I?
Well,
Echo.
Too much echo.
Figured.
The chain crashes against the pillar and hits the floor. And then a split second later, you see the flash again. Pull it back, and the shackle hits the pillar, crashes to the floor. And this happens several more times in rapid succession. Then you see the chain pull all the way taut, so it's pulled straight up against the pillar and has nowhere to fall. And you see it jostle there very violently for a couple seconds, and then it just falls slack to the floor and the glow fades away.
That is fucking brutal.
Wow.
That
Terry,
shit
you're kind of a
just
dick.
Lawful good, right? Or no, chaotic good.
Chaotic.
That's chaotic if I ever heard it.
And as soon as he vanishes, the wall of fire dissipates.
So what did Zook see this whole time? Did you just see firewall, heard a bunch of shit, and then firewall go away?
Basically, yes.
I didn't know if I could see through the firewall or not. That was going to be my first question.
The upside of the terrible ethereal plane in this world is it makes that a much better offensive spell than it usually is.
No, and I rolled for the ethereal creatures. Better believe I did. No, the wall is opaque. You cannot see through it. So you just saw the flames erupt out of the floor, and you heard all kinds of crazy shit happening on the other side. And then you heard the clacking sound of a chain, and then metal striking this pillar repeatedly, and blasts of magic, and then it fell silent after 2 seconds of that.
Okay.
But then the wall just dissipates.
And then this
Fantastic.
is the way that Tarin likes to travel.
Yep.
All right. So it's my turn, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, looks
All
like
right.
it.
So Zook's going to come up here, and he's going to see limp chain, missing demon, all kinds of crazy shit, and he's going to mind link quickly to Tarin. What the fuck?
I got rid of one of them. Take the other one out. Unless I can intimidate it, but I don't think so.
Zook's going to take half a second and say, last chance to surrender, as he draws his bow.
Are you going to fire on him this turn?
If he doesn't drop his, can he drop his weapon?
Tarin, what did you get on your
Yeah.
that intimidate roll?
Oh, I didn't make it. Should I roll for that one?
Yeah, make it at advantage.
Because otherwise, this guy's about to get sneak attacked to hell too.
That'd be a 26.
26. You shouted out that, it's time for him to throw down his weapon, or else something worse is going to happen to him. And you see his resolve waver. And he very slowly, as Zook steps into the room and knocks his bow, very slowly he stoops down, sets his scimitar on the ground. And
Okay.
he speaks. He can't use the mind link unless you have it open.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Are you
Why?
maintaining it?
Yeah, because I told him that in his mind, so.
And he responds, says, "You wield great power for a mortal. Power that was stolen from us by the wizard here."
If I break this chain, does it free you?
He says, "Where did you send Metsui?"
The ethereal plane.
You see a flash of anger on his face. And then he speaks into your mind. We hear him wail with grief, shouting curses
sure
in
we all
Ignan
hear that, huh?
make Eldove blush. Then he looks at you again and fixates on you. And he thinks to you that he is as good as dead. He says, "Do you swear to me you will release me from this place?"
If I can find how. Will you cause no trouble for the inhabitants of this plane if I do so?
He looks at the ladder, and you see the ladder climbs up into the darkness, into a very narrow shaft. Narrow enough for like one person to fit up, maybe 5 feet around. Maybe a little more cramped than that. But he looks up at it, and looks back at you. He nods slowly. Says, "If I am released, I'll return to Romneus and cause you no harm."
Alright then. I'll see what I can do. And you don't know if breaking the chain would be enough. Or if I have the means to break it on hand right now, I might have to do something up in the tower.
He says, "If you have the means to break it, then do so."
Can you only teleport people to the ethereal plane?
I have Shadowfell and Feywild tuning forks as well, but that's a once-a-day thing.
Yeah, Mystic Arcanum is once per long rest.
I'll try using my packed blade on it. I'll hold it. I won't touch it, but I'll just drop my shield, two-hand it, and just
Okay.
best hit I can do.
I mean, just for the viewers at home, Tarin's bluffing right now. He can't actually plane shift this other guy, but he doesn't know that. and you rolled a pretty outrageous intimidate check. So you try to hack the chain with your packed weapon, and your blade rings loudly on it, and the recoil from it sends a shockwave up your arm. It rattles the inside of your bones. It's not going to break it that way.
I'll have to find another way, but I will try and free you.
Before we
Creature
go, do you know
nods.
any more of the passwords for this tower?
He shakes his head, says, I do not. Now you're speaking
Do you
to an
know?
Ignan, Eldove?
Yeah.
Okay, and he shakes his head and says, actually, I better make a check to see if he can if he can understand you. Yes. He says he does not. He and his brother were bound in this room to guard this ladder. They were told a password. They were bound for 100 years of service.
Jesus Christ.
At which point, if they both served admirably, they would be released.
Do you know anything we can use against the wizard?
And he shakes his head. He says, I don't know what lies above the ladder.
Alright. Like I said, once we find a way, I'll see what I can do about breaking you. Should we check that last room?
Yes.
Orphan says, I did. There's no way through.
Is it magically locked?
From the other side.
Orphan can't know
we
that.
do have...
Well, no.
Orphan just looked at the door.
I'm
and
sorry.
saw it locked.
I was literally going off what you told me, which it's barred from the other side.
Oh yeah, it's got a deadbolt, a mundane deadbolt, the kind that Zook can pick with his thieves' tools. But as for if it's magically locked, you have no idea.
That's not what you said when I spent my action checking the door.
I don't remember.
I'm just gonna go through, just knowing how this wizard does fucking passwords now. I'm gonna try passage in each of the languages I know.
And door does not open.
Well,
Zook,
Is
do
it-
you want to...
do we know if it's magically
Yeah, do you want
locked?
to check that one for magical traps and check it for... See if you can open it with your thieves' tools?
Yeah.
Just a couple of these we could just open.
So who's doing what? I'm confused.
I'm gonna check it for traps first.
Okay. That is a perception check.
Right. Ooh, that's a lot of perception. That is 26.
Yep, and yeah, to your eyes, you don't see any traps on it. It's got a strong lock, like the previous ones did.
I'll just straight up try to pick it and see if it'll open.
Okay.
Pick your nose.
That's a 20.
Takes some doing. Like I said earlier on, the locks are exceptional, but you managed to pop it. But in doing so, the door does not budge.
Okay. Do we want to use one of these knock things
Yeah,
on this?
I think this is where we start using knock scrolls.
All right. Zook will use a knock scroll. How do I do that?
You just hold the scroll and declare that you're using it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Zook
Yeah.
uses his magical device ability to use the knock scroll on it.
Just to refresh everybody's memory, using a scroll that's not on your class's spell list is impossible. Using a scroll that's on your class spell list at a level you can normally cast or lower requires no check. Above that, it requires a check. But Zook has a class feature that allows him to use magical devices, which I read basically it for purposes of using a scroll, all spells are on his spell list. So it doesn't even require a check as long as you're using that use magic item feature.
That's my impression of it too. If it doesn't require a check, then I should just be able to use it.
Okay. And you use the scroll, the magic of it is consumed, and the scroll flares up in your hand with purple magic.
Try and
And
knock one of these off my list.
you hear the latch of the door give way, and it opens up outwards.
Hey.
You look into a triangular room. You're looking into a treasury. Piles of treasure stacked against the back wall, chests overflowing with gold and silver coins, shelves of jewels, decorative weapons, curious pieces of art. One especially large, sturdy chest, which is closed tightly. And adorning the back wall are several brilliant tapestries depicting landscapes and chivalry of some of Dunfoss's wealthier houses.
Are
That
these the
sounds
exact
familiar.
same tapestries?
Yes, word for word. Same description.
Detect magic. Is there any illusion magic here?
No. Everything in here is radiating magic. All of the items in this room. But as far as
And none of
illusion
it's
magic...
the illusion school? Okay.
I say we sort this out later. It's good to know
If
there's
we
more potential treasure. Oh, yes?
if we knock a door and then leave the door open, is it gonna close the door and lock itself?
Yes, it will. After 10 minutes.
Yeah, we should spend a few minutes like taking stuff out of this room and just leaving it in the hall.
Can we-
there, I think.
Can we prop the door open? Like if we jam the door?
You could try it. You have to describe to me exactly what you're doing, though, and then we'll see what happens.
Do we have like some kind of like?
I got a question. Can I use my lockpicking ability to basically take the door off the hinges? Like, am I skilled enough to just completely remove the door?
No.
Mechanism.
You're lockpicking. What you probably could do it if you had the proper tools. You don't have the proper tools. You have lockpicking tools. You can pick locks.
Well, now that this is,
Eldove had a question.
Oh, sorry.
Eldove,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say.
Go ahead, Ian.
Does using knock render this a mundane door at this point?
No. This is like the 4th or 5th time I've explained it now. If you cast knock on the door with arcane lock, it suppresses the spell for about 10 minutes, after which the arcane lock will re-engage.
I understand, but I'm saying for the next 10 minutes, is it just a door, as far as we're concerned? Could we use like acid splash on the hinges or something?
Here, I've got an idea. I've got a climber's kit in my. I'm carrying a climber's kit. What you could do is you could stick a piton in the door frame and keep the door from seating completely closed.
So you're going to try to jam the door open with one of your climbing pythons?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like an idea, right?
While you guys
I
are
like
doing
that.
this, Orphan is going to carry it out of this room as she can and
Stop
leave it
there.
in this little.
Orphan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You step into the doorway. The first thing you notice, waves and waves of heat pour over your body. You look down and your skin and the clothing on your body starts to smolder.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The second thing you notice when you step into this room, your whole body feels incredibly heavy. You're not carrying much gear. Being a monk, you don't have a whole lot. But you feel your entire body being dragged downward to the floor as though gravity is pulling much harder on you. Every square in this room counts as difficult terrain for purposes of movement, which I know you don't care about because you have all the movement in the world. If you end your turn in this room, you're going to take a lot of fire damage, which you may or may not care about.
All right. Well, I'll leave them.
Okay. So you all see Orphan step into the doorway, and you see her skin and hair and robes start to flutter about as though sitting inside of a fiery oven. And as soon as she realizes what's happening, she steps back out of the door.
So, anywho,
Did she take any damage from that happening?
No, because she did not end her turn in the room.
So as long as we don't end our turn in the room,
Honestly,
Orphan
I think
doesn't-
there's all
I
the
mean-
movement in the world.
It's gold. Just hammer a piton into the door frame and we'll deal with it on the way out.
There's not anything more interesting in there than gold. There's no like potions or something.
What you see is giant piles of silver and gold, a collection of various art objects stacked up on a shelf, a big pile of gems, and a locked metal treasure box.
Does it also have the wine
How heavy-
bottles?
Yep, the wine bottle.
How
the
heavy is the
ballroom
treasure
mask.
box?
You don't know because you haven't been in there and tried to lift it.
But it's the exact same stuff that was in.
Do you guys want me to
room
cast
number 3.
telekinesis and try to bring that treasure box out here?
Maybe on the way out.
Well, I mean, we could find out what's in there. Could be something cool.
Zook
Yeah,
is,
both.
Zook is okay with this idea.
The mirror image treasure makes me really hesitant.
Yeah, that's
I think
making-
there's something weird here, and I
I'm
don't
thinking something
want to waste a
funny
lot of
here.
resources on it while we still have a wizard to apparently kill.
All right,
Are we
so
killing a wizard?
I don't know yet.
Oh, we were opening a door.
All right, here's what we're doing. Khalil, tink, 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 tink. Okay, we can move on now.
So what did you specifically do here? I want to be perfectly clear about what you're doing with this climbing.
I'm gonna take a couple of couple of pitons and hammer them into the frame so that if the door were to swing
hammer
shut,
them with what?
Oh shit! Yeah.
well, if you
Well,
have
it's
a
part of the
climbing,
climber's kit.
yeah, your
Yeah,
climber's
okay.
kit has a
Yeah.
hammer for the pittons in the first place.
Right.
So where are you trying to hammer it into? The wall, the door frame, the floor, the door itself?
The door frame. Well, wait. Yeah, the door frame.
So you're trying to hammer it into the metal
Did
of
the
the
door
door
enter
frame.
inward or outward?
Outward.
Yeah, so he's hammering it in the gap between the door and the frame when it's open.
Yeah, so he can't close without bending the metal.
Okay, so you're trying to hammer the piton into the metal of the door frame.
No. The gap.
What do you mean gap?
What
And
is
when
the
you
door
open the door,
itself?
there'll be
What
a
is the
gap.
door itself made of?
Metal.
Okay.
Strong iron.
Another heavy metal door.
Heavy metal door. Weedle wow!
What I was thinking was you open up the door. When you open up the door, there's a gap in between the door frame and the door.
Okay.
And just jam it in there. It's like when you open up a door and you put like a mat in there, and then the door can't close.
But what I guess I'm not understanding is why would you hammer the python into the frame at that point?
It's not in the frame. He's just wedging
He's not.
it.
Okay, so he's just trying to wedge it. He's just like laying the python there on the ground. So when the door tries to shut, it can't shut all the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not hammering it into anything. You're just setting it there.
No.
Yeah.
No, hammer it into the stone floor.
Ah!
Actually, yeah, that actually makes really good sense.
You want me to
yeah,
draw
This
it?
is
You want
why
me
I'm clarifying.
Do you want me to draw it? I
Okay.
will draw it.
right here. See this little. See where my arrows are?
Yeah.
That's
Can
where I'm
Destil
putting the pit.
draw?
That's where I'm putting the pit net. So that way, when the door swings shut,
Okay.
that way the door swings shut, it hits the pit, and before it hits the.
Okay. So you're
Oh,
trying to
yes,
hammer
yeah.
the python into the stone floor outside of the doorway.
Yeah.
In that case, the python does not break the stone.
Okay, I'm putting a picture into the mumble chat.
Okay, Khalil sits down with his
it doesn't
climbing
break the
python
stone, so it
and
doesn't
tries to
matter.
hammer into the floor, but the stone does not give way.
Well, that's my idea. So, anyone else got anything, or are we gonna move on?
Okay, I put a picture into the mumble chat of an open door. See how you see how when the door is open, there's a gap between the door frame and the door.
Okay.
I want to take a pit and I want to hammer it so that it is wedged in that gap.
But what are you hammering it into?
The gap.
The gap.
The gap itself.
The gap, just the open gap, just empty
Yeah.
air.
Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah.
How do you
I mean,
hammer a
yeah.
python into empty air?
A pin is wedged. I'm hoping that it'll fit in there. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Does that work?
No, I see. I see
You
what
can
mean.
set
Yeah,
the python in there, but I mean you can do it. But whether or not it'll work, you don't know.
Okay.
But you're not hammering it. You can just like wedge it in there. That's why I'm confused because you're talking about hammering it into like just empty space. I didn't get it.
Well, I figured that it would wedge in that gap.
I mean, if
so I
there's,
was trying to
there's
make
not
it
enough
tight.
space, like say if the python was fatter than that particular gap,
Okay.
then use the hammer to force it through.
Okay. No, it's not. You can wedge it into space.
Okay then.
Okay. Sorry, it's just like I'm not trying to put it in a floor. I'm just trying to shove it in that hole between the door and the frame.
Okay.
Anywho.
And now what?
Now we
Let's
go
get
up
the
to the
hell-
ladder.
General idea is the only way that the door could close is by compressing the python to
Yeah.
nothing.
Ladder. So can we all sing Snake Eater?
Who's climbing the ladder first?
Tarin.
Okay.
Tarin going up first. That sounds like a really bad idea. Tarin, a hatch opens.
Yep.
Yay!
No.
It's the hatch at the top of the ladder that we're going through.
I'm getting you a new map.
Yay! New map.
But don't be intimidated by this map. It's not actually more dungeon.
Just
It's actually nothing.
a clearing in the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to get on Immiger and get that clearing of a forest. Okay.
Wizard's Tower.
Oh my God! It's not a forest.
And you climb up into a secret hatch. Over here. On the ground floor of the tower.
Hatch opens, Tarin pops out.
Hatch open, Tarin pops out.
Throw a grenade now.
It's cold and dark
Dang,
in the
this is-
tower. There are no sources of light in here. It looks devoid of life, furniture. You see the four pillars, the stone walls of the tower. Off to one side, you see the doors. You see where they've been barred with two heavy metal bars from this side. And you see the stairway going up.
I'll wait for everybody else to get up to the first floor, I guess. I don't know what floor I'm
I lost
actually
track
on.
of Zook. Okay, here we are.
Well, I had the
It's a
reload
really-
table.
Yeah, it's a really low res map.
As soon
Yeah.
as we get away from the whatever the fuck downstairs, I'll go, Tarin, isn't that a concentration spell that you cast?
Which one?
The one that plane shifted him?
No, it just happens.
No, it's not. It's an instant.
So
That seems unreasonable.
So my question is,
If we all
Uh,
want to join hands, we could all go to the ethereal plane. I wouldn't recommend it.
right? So he can't
Nope.
come
Tell you
back.
what, I'll leave that one to you.
He just can't come back. He's dead.
He's probably dead.
He probably
The
got
looks of
eaten
that
by ugly
interaction with the
things.
chain.
Well,
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I
Okay.
think those of us in the room basically saw him die.
Well, you
Yeah.
didn't.
Well,
You,
I didn't
you
see
very
him die.
pointedly didn't see him die. You didn't see what
But
happened to him at all.
Given how that chain was tripping out,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the other one said he's as good as dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also put him at the bottom of the ocean in the coldest part that I know of.
Very.
If you would
that
were
was
to shift
probably
back.
overkill.
That seems like overkill, Tarin.
You're one to talk about overkill, Eldove.
It's very
Did you
quiet
see me
here.
casting fire in there?
It is quiet, dark, and cold.
Well, it's not
Alright,
quiet
so-
anymore.
Is it? Okay. Those of us with dark vision, do we see anything of note in this room?
I already described the room. No furniture, no forms of life. There's 4 pillars, circular stone walls, doors that lead outside with 2 heavy bars holding them shut, and the stairs leading upward.
And
I think
the
we
light
should go up
coming-
the stairs.
And the light from coming upstairs.
No, there's
You
no
get- you
source
get-
of light.
You guys
we
think
want-
maybe we should try and throw these doors to
Yeah.
see if we have an escape route?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if Zook would mind looking at that.
Well, I mean, if they're just bars.
Whee!
No, they're just metal bars. You
How
just
high
slide
did
them out
we
of the way.
climb? Are we on the first floor?
You're on the ground floor of the tower, yes. I said that too.
Yeah. So, well, someone's stronger than me, since these are metal bars, not a lock.
I
Do you wanna
can
check for
either
traps?
use
I can do that.
very
yes, I
little
can
force or 1,000 pounds of force.
I
I'll
can,
check. I'll check for physical traps.
and I'll detect magic to see if they're arcane locked.
The doors are not magical. Well, they're magical, but they're not arcane locked. The walls also radiate magic, as does the floor of the place, as do the 4 pillars.
That'd be a 22 on perception.
And you were
'cause-
checking for traps?
I was checking for traps. Yeah.
You don't see any traps. No.
Sorry,
Not on this side of the door,
rocket ship
anyway.
and Fly away.
All right. If someone wants to see if they can move this lock and throw the doors open, I didn't see any traps pointedly on this side of the door.
Well, putting a trap outside of the door would just be inhospitable.
Well, actually, I'll just ask. Can I move these bars, or are they heavy?
You can move them.
All right. Zook will move the bars and see if he can get the
Khalil.
door open.
Yo.
You hear footsteps coming down the stairs. Very, very slowly. But you hear them very faintly over the din of everybody in the room arguing.
I do that. I do that right there. Right there. Exactly that.
He's so
Oh my
mad.
god.
We're gonna have to wait for this to calm down.
I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
I'll pee.
Khalil starts barking at the stairway.
I thought Khalil was a pig, not a watchdog.
Well, he was a pig. He's a former pig. We may or may not take a dinner break tonight, depending on how stupid you guys decide to get with this wizard.
So wait, doesn't require a skill check for Zook to use spells.
Zook doesn't use spells.
Okay, to use a magical device, it didn't require a skill check.
Not for a scroll, no. There's no skill check associated with the scroll unless you're using one that is on your spell list but too high of level for you to naturally cast. Because Zook has a class feature that allows him to use magic devices regardless of what class they're associated with, that means he can attune to magic items that say they only attune to a particular class. For example, he could attune to Tarin's Rod of the Pact Keeper, even though Rod of the Pact Keeper specifically says requires attunement to a Warlock. It also means he
Okay.
can use magic items that only can be used by a particular class.
Okay, but then we're back to if he doesn't have a skill check, like if there's no skill check for him because he can use any spell, right, to use a scroll. Why do we need these glasses?
These glasses would enable anybody to do what Zook does. Zook is a very special case because he's a high-level rogue with a very specific class feature.
Right. But we
Okay.
got him.
I'm not sure what you're
Alright.
asking.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah, you hear footsteps very slowly. They sound like the kind of footsteps that are not meant to be heard. Someone's trying to sneak up on you.
Khalil hears this? I don't.
Only Khalil hears it.
Ah, it's sneaky.
I will shh, and then point toward the stairs.
And do what? Is everybody standing where they want to be standing?
I was fucking with the door, so.
Okay.
What's going on? Sorry.
Khalil just shushed you.
Shush. Shush.
So what do you do, Khalil?
I'm ready my weapon and just
Ready? Which weapon? You have more than one weapon.
I'll ready my bow.
Okay. The
But I'm
footsteps
not
stop.
going.
Once the chatter in the room stops and the sound of the sliding metal bars comes to a stop, you hear the footfalls cease somewhere up the stairwell.
Have we opened the door fully, or?
You guys slid one of the bars out of the way, and Khalil shushed you before the second bar was moved because it was making noise. I'm assuming you stopped. If you didn't stop, that's fine. It's just
No,
gonna
I
keep making noise.
I would have frozen when Mind Link or
You stop and wait, and Khalil is readying his bow. After a couple of seconds, you hear a very nervous voice from up the stairs that just asks, "Who are you people?"
My name is Captain Tarin Kazmire of Adric's Honor.
I have no knowledge of you. What are you doing in my house?
There's a lot of very angry hobgoblins outside. Do you have a few minutes to talk?
You hear silence for a few seconds. Then you hear the very nervous sound of hurried footsteps clambering up the stairs and a door slam at the top of them.
Man, this wizard's a buster.
Zook, finish unbarring the door, but don't open it. Let's head up.
And easy enough. Zook moves the bar out of the door.
But you don't want me to
I would
open
prefer if the hobgoblins, if they have a spyglass or something, don't know that we've opened the front of the tower yet.
Yeah.
it? Fair enough.
So you move the bars, but don't open the door. Okay?
Yeah.
The bar. What do you do with the bars? Just lay them on the ground there?
Yeah, just off to the side.
Okay, and
I'm
then what
gonna
happens?
nudge Destil, and I'm just gonna say over the mind link. So, what's our plan at the moment here? Like, who are we betraying?
Awesome. I want to hear what the wizard side of the story is before I decide that, though the gnome thing is probably the thing that puts me most off guard right now. Also, I did agree to try and help release that fire thingy, whatever it is.
Alright, so, like, 2 of 3 we're betraying, or, like... Because I figure we could probably go for a 3 of 3 situation here, if you want.
I'm hearing that you want your own wizard's tower, Eldove. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, that last one was all gross and goblined.
Well, this one's about to be pretty goblin too. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go up the stairs.
Yeah, and-
No, the answer to your question, Eldove, I'm just making this up as I go.
I kind of feel like asking Tarin if he has a plan is a little bit like asking Forrest Gump if he has a plan.
We need marching orders for going up the stairs.
No, just place yourself where you're going to be on the second level. I mean, the levels are marked. I mean, I know it's low resolution. This is like a 20 by 30 GIF that I blew up. I'm sorry.
It's all
I
good.
had very little time to grab
Wait,
this
are
image
levels
set.
marked? Because
Yeah.
that says both 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, they're room numbers, I guess. Whatever. It's fine. Pick whatever floor
They
you
go
want
up
to be
in
level 2.
ascending order.
Alright, I'm going over here.
I mean, we just make our way up the tower. I don't think we're gonna...
Well, you heard a door slam relatively near you.
Okay.
Did it sound like it was on this floor right up here, or was it further up?
It sounded really close. It would have to be on the second or third floor if he slammed it really hard.
I'll mind link Eldove. Do you have another detect thoughts? Can you sense thoughts through these? What are the doors made of? Are they metal?
No, these doors are wood. These are
I
oaken
think
doors.
Wouldn't
I
detect
can easily
thoughts.
detect.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I need to be made aware of it. So, one second, let me get the exact rules.
Oh, I thought it was you could sense it through anything but a thin sheet of lead, basically. Like a wooden door would be, you could find the absence or presence of intelligent creatures.
You can focus your mind. No, I have to be able to see them first.
Oh, okay.
Never mind then. I guess we just start opening doors.
Yeah.
We could just
If I
holler
saw
at 'em.
someone and then I cast it on them, and then they went through a door, I'd still be able to hear them.
Okay.
But to initiate it, I need to be able to see them.
Yeah, let's just open some doors.
Which door? Tab it. And who's doing
Khalil,
it?
I'll let you do the honor.
Okay.
Eldove is going to back up.
Khalil, you throw the door open.
Yeah.
And you take some damage.
Ooh.
Ten damage, force damage.
Ow.
You open
hit
the
me.
door, pull it outward, and you see the wizard standing there. He's got a wand in his hand, and as soon as you open the door, he throws it forward and screams out, "Yeah!" and throws magic missiles from the tip of the wand.
How many missiles?
3. They fly outward
Oh,
3 magic missiles?
This guy, really?
and pummel
This wizard is
up and down Khalil's chest. I'm talking, Eldove, please. I'm the DM. I'm trying to run the game here. Pummel into Khalil's chest. 10 damage.
Ow.
And as soon as he does that, he lowers the wand and looks very, very scared.
Look. I just took an arrow right where you hit me. Can we talk for a minute, please?
So you're here to
This
assassinate
isn't
me.
your tower.
No, not at all.
Maybe. What? It depends on what your side of the story is.
Did you really just say maybe?
Who answers the question? Are you here to assassinate me? With
Who
maybe?
asks, are you here to assassinate me?
Who casts level 3 magic missiles? This
That's
isn't
only
his
one magic
tower.
missile.
So he asks, you're here to assassinate me. You say maybe. It depends on what?
Your side of the story.
Says, what story is that? Says, you're
You
in the
know.
employ of the Hobgoblin War Chief. Why should I speak to you? And you see his hand is shaking a lot, and he's looking very nervously at Khalil's sword. You've got your bow drawn, right? But your sword's hanging at your side? Or do you have your sword
Yeah.
drawn?
I hadn't drawn my sword yet.
Okay, well, yeah, he's
I
looking
saw-
very
I saw
nervously
the
at your
bow.
sword, and he's glancing back out in the room too, and he sees that Zook is wearing a bunch of daggers or whatever he's got. Tarin, you're holding your packed weapon. He's not liking that either.
Just put the wand down. We're not going to kill you yet.
And Zook says to Tarin, "Stop being so reassuring."
Yeah.
Well, listen, he's not going to kill any of us with that wand. So we might as well put it down anyway.
I want to find out exactly what's going on here because you obviously don't seem quite powerful enough to have done everything the Hobgoblin told us, and I don't particularly trust the Hobgoblins either. We're actually here to try and find out about a pair of magical goggles of all things.
This is
I don't know how we got sucked into all this.
He says, do not let looks deceive you. I am a man of infinite power. As he's shaking very nervously, he scoops forward and places the wand on the ground and releases it from his hand.
So, Brickroad, this is an opportunity where I could use Know Your Enemy with the way it was actually intended, where I can figure out this dude's class levels.
Yeah. Is there a roll required with that, or you just have to watch him for a while?
Interact with him for a minute.
Okay. So let's play out that interaction then.
Yeah.
What do you like?
Alright.
You ask probing questions. What are you doing here? The room you're looking into is entirely empty. It looks like this might have been a small
Store.
guest room or something, a storeroom. You're not sure. There's nothing in here now. Cobwebs, darkness, and cold. And a very nervous, like Otacon-looking, quote-unquote wizard.
Cube is a better wizard than this guy.
I'll ask him about the glasses. I'll mention that we found mention of him in a letter in some other tower and came in here to see what that was about.
And he looks at Orphan when she says that. His eyes narrow a lot. And he's having a hard time making eye contact with Orphan because Khalil is standing very imposingly in the doorway. But you see, in his eyes, you see like a mixture of confusion and anger and curiosity all at once. He asks, "How did you come by this letter?"
Oh, we found it. The tower had long been overrun by goblins by the time we got there. It was in his where was it? It was in his bedroom. We found it like in his dresser or something.
Yes, you
I
found
think it was
in
actually hidden.
it was in his bedroom
Oh, no.
amidst a pile of scorched papers. You all
That's
rescued
right.
it.
Yeah, it was the spell book
Yeah.
we found that was
Yeah.
hidden.
So I
Yeah.
said we found it in the wizard's bedroom.
And what of this wizard? What of him?
The tower had long since been abandoned. We think he's
We
dead.
never saw anything of him.
Probably overrun by goblins, hundreds of them.
This isn't to think we thought ourselves above the goblins.
Yeah. Speaking of overrun by goblins, you might want to talk a little faster, because your fate is going to be pretty similar pretty soon.
Unless you can actually give us something to work with here. I still want to hear both sides of the story. I'm sorry, but you don't seem like the type that could dispatch an entire goblin legion with a wand of that, and I'll point to the wand.
Yes, I admit I've been reduced to a shade of my former glory, but it can be regained. When I am back at my full strength, the armies at my doorstep will be nothing before me.
What reduced your strength so much?
I was going to ask over the mind, like, do I sound that crazy?
Just a little.
Crazy in a different way, man.
Duke holds his forefinger and thumb just minutely apart. This much.
The armies that in front of you will be nothing before you is more my kind of crazy.
Says, I will show you. I will show you what I mean. I will show you the project I was working on. But you must swear to me. You must swear to me you will help me be rid of this army.
I want to see this project, and I want to talk about some gnomes. And I also want to talk about some of your employees. Well, let's see it.
Says, but first you must swear it. And he's holding his finger up, pointing at you accusingly, and his hand is still shaking with fear.